Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Just Daf It, Daf Yomi Share. We're learning Kesubos Daf Lamed Zayin, number 37. I have a great share for you today. We're going to be continuing our discussion about whether Shvuya is violated according to Rabbi Yehuda, and moving on to a similar discussion, but that we've been discussing until now. But Kimle with the Rabbimine really figure out exactly. We've discussed which psukim tell us Kimle with the Rab. We had a Mishnah which seemed to indicate it's from a pasuk Lo Yason. The Gemara has a question. I was mentioning that Shita seems to only be according to Rabbi Yochanan. The Gemara actually comes back to it. Seems according to everybody there is a svara. How do you reconcile the two from psukim? That'll be the subject of Eden with Ben Sion coming up in the next year. Let's get started. At the bottom, anyone who's watching this, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'm asking you kindly to please subscribe. It really helps me, and to give these shiurim a like helps with the YouTube algorithm. You know what that is. It helps more people get exposed to my shiurim, and helps my presence on social media increase. All right, let's go on. Apoda, last line of Lamed Ovam Abayz. Rami Leir of Papa Bar Shmuel, last 5-6 words. Rami Leir of Papa Bar Shmuel, Rav Yosef. He asked Rav Yosef, it's the top of Lamed Zayin and Aleph. Sava Rabbi Yehuda b'Kedushas HaKaima. Until now, we've been assuming Rabbi Yehuda has a unique shita. Even though we assume normally a shvuya, someone who's taken captive, is violated. We assume she's violated by non-Jews and she's puzzled to the Guna. Rabbi Yehuda seems to assert in the previous Mishnah that he holds that she is not violated. Tanya, Bryce says seemingly otherwise, like Yoresh Nizgaira, a woman who converts, Varas Adam, and she sees blood. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Daya Shaita. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, like the Shita, a famous Shita, in the beginning was that Nida Daya Shaita, that from which the blood is assumed to be Dam Nida only from the time she saw. We don't assume that she's tameh if she touched things that were taros, that were tor. We don't assume she makes them tameh. One of the things about a nida, besides the fact that she's asura l'bayla, she's asura her husband, she also makes things that were tor. She makes them tameh. Rabbi says daya shaita. Rabbi Yossi omer harei gol anashim metamas le'es u'mkida l'pkida. No, we can't be so mekel. We go lakula, one or the other. Meaning, if it's lakula to go me'es 24 hours retroactively back. Or if she did a check, she checked herself and she was tahora within those 24 hours, so then you have less than 24 hours. If you checked yourself before those 24 hours, then you go limit lakula with the 24-hour period. V'sricha, that's about 2 months. The Gemara continues, V'sricha lahamtin gimel chadashim, Divi Rabbi Yehuda. We're concerned also that she's pregnant, right? And if she's pregnant, you have to wait 3 months to discern whether she's pregnant from the first guy or before she was megayeres. And now she's going to remarry. We want to know who the child is from, right? If you wait 3 months, you can know that she's not pregnant, and the child that is born is going to be a child from the new husband after she converted. Rabbi Yehuda says you have to wait 3 months. Rabbi Yossi Matri Arash Lenasmiya, he holds she wasn't violated as a Giores, as a non-Jew, before she was misgayer. So therefore she got married right away. We don't have to wait. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, we're talking about, he holds that a Giores, she was violated before she converted. He has to wait 3 months. So the Gemara answer is pretty obvious. I'm like Giores Hashuya Karam. It's different people we're talking about. Giores lo minter and Avsha. When she was not Jewish, she was promiscuous. She didn't really care who she was with. A Shvuya minter and Avsha. We're talking about a from woman over here. She's a Jewish woman. She's gonna try her best, her utmost, not to be with other men. So even if a man wants to be with her, she'll try to dissuade him. So then the Gemara says, Rami Shvuya Shvuya. Still we have a question from Shvuya Shvuya, another brayta. So the Sanya, Hagioris Vashvuya Vashivka Shniftu Shniskairu V'Shtacharu Yiseros Albanos Gimel Shanam V'Yom Echad Tzrichos Ahamdu Gimel Chadashim. David Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, in all three of these cases, not only by Gioris, not only by Shivka that's freed, also Shvuya, they have to wait 3 months. We assume she was violated. David Rabbi Yehuda, Yossi Matla Arsan Asmiyad. Yossi will see his reasoning. He says she can get married right away. Ishtik, he was silent. He didn't have an answer. Amalei midi shmilachava. You hear anything about this? Amalei hakem arasheshes sharua shenivul. I know the brayta here, which is talking about the Yehuda's machmir, is we saw that when she was taken captive, we saw there's Adam that she was nivelis. Therefore, we're going to assume she maybe became pregnant. We have to wait 3 months. Ihaki, if that's true that we saw her, my time with Rabbi Yossi. Why does Rabbi Yossi allow her to get married right away? I'm a rabbi because Rabbi Yossi isha bezana mishameshes b'moch. No, you're right. We saw that she was violated, but she's going to use a sponge, let's say. She doesn't want to become pregnant. She'll to zaber. And I guess Rabbi Yehuda holds she wouldn't mishamesh b'moch. Whereas bishlam giores, that can make sense when a case of someone who's converting or about to convert. Even the daita legiyure, presumably she had in mind she wanted Megayer a couple months before she actually is Megayer, Mintra and Afsha. So she'll put in the moch, she'll put in the sponge in order to make sure that she doesn't become pregnant. Shvuya nami de lo yada, heicham amtula, right? Shvuya, they bring her to all different places. Maybe she'll be ransomed at any time. She'll also protect herself from becoming pregnant. Shifcha nami de shama pimara. Right, a shifcha also, a lot of times she'll hear from her, the rumors going on from her masters, they want to free her. Aliyot b'shen v'ayin, right? Included in shifcha or an eved that are freed, and they're yotib b'shen v'ayin, you're forced to free your eved, or if you knock out their tooth or eye, you're forced to free them. There they can't expect him, where they're not going to be mishamish moch. Rabbi Yossi agrees any time where it's unexpected, he would agree that they're not going to use a moch and you have to wait 3 months. Alright, anusa mafuta. Right, someone who's raped or mafuta, the memela, that they can't expect to be raped or seduced. But Tanya anusa mafuta. The Bride says strichla ham the gilon chadashim. The Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi matir le'arisim le'nasim. He holds even in the case where it's unexpected, he allows them to get married right away. Alam Rabba kasav Rabbi Yossi holds isha mezana misapechas. No, not because she uses a sponge to take out the sperm. It's because she's misapechas. After they had the bia, she'll turn over and let the semen flow out from her. In order that she shouldn't become pregnant. Why does Rabbi Yehuda hold? Why do you have to wait 3 months? We're concerned that she didn't turn over right away, so therefore you have to wait 3 months. So the Mishnah says the makor for kim leibdrap is lo yason, meaning if there's no tragedy, she's punished with paying. You're punished for paying for the fetus. If there was a tragedy, she died, then you're pater because misa, the chi of misa, that you killed the woman, paters you from mamo. So we learn it from here. We learn it from a different pasuk. K'dei rishasam shum risha achastam mechayva. V'yatam mechayva from shim shem shtei rishuyos. Gemara says chad of misa mamon and chad of malchus mamon. One pasuk is talking about that when you have malchus and mamon, you only get one of them. Now, which one do you get? It doesn't say the Gemara. Right? According to some opinions, Rabbi Yochanan holds, you get the malchus. Ula holds, you get the mamon. So it's not clear from the Gemara. And one is pasuk is talking about misa and mamon, and you get misa and not mamon. Now, the Art Scroll says that the pasuk lo yason, which the Mishnah brought, seemingly is talking about misa and mamon, and kedei rishaso is talking about malchus and mamon, like Rabbi Yochanan, right? You get malchus and not mamon, like Rabbi Yochanan said. That's next to the pasuk of malchus, kedei rishaso, and misa and mamon is from the Mishnah. I'm going to explain to you Ben Sion a different shot and reconciling these two psukim, exactly the opposite of the Art Scroll. The sricha, you need both psukim. He asked me on miso mamon. If you say miso mamon, mishum deika ibud neshama. The reason misa paters mamon is because you're dying. About malchus mamon, you get malchus mamon. The lega ibud neshama, you're not dying from either of them. Maybe you should not only get malchus but also pay. If you ask me the malchus mamon, right? Malchus mamon mishum delo chamer isure. It's not so chamer. About misa mamon, the chamer isure, you did something which warranted you being killed. Amalo, there's no ptur, right? You have to get both punishments. Sricha. That's why you need both psukim. Or a mayor. The Amar Loka Mishalim, he holds that actually when you have Misa and Malchus and Mammon, you pay and you get Malchus, Tarti Lamali. Right? What's the second pasuk for? Chadav and Misa and Mammon. One pasuk is talking about the Misa Paters Mammon, top of Lam Zayin and base, the Chadav and Misa and Malchus. And one pasuk is talking about where you chayav Misa and you get Malchus, the Misa Paters the Malchus, with Sricha. Yashmin and Misa and Mammon, Mishum the Chadav Gufay Bechadav Bamone. Right? You can reconcile being chayav two different things, because one is a punishment to his body that he dies, and one is to his property, his estate, his bank account. I'm sorry, the Gemara is saying over here it wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't obligate him in two different areas, his body and his bank account. Both of them are punishments to his body. Ema misa arifti, right? First, let's give him malchus, then we'll kill him. It's one long death. There's only one punishment, an avid bay. And we should do both. Yashmina miso malchus, which is said misa paters malchus, a tarte begufe lo avdina. We shouldn't do two different things to his body. A misa mamud chad beguf chad amon. One is on his body and one on his bank account. Ema navid, you can possibly do. Sricha, both psukim are needed to tell me that you only get misa and not malchus and not mamon. Velo tichun kofer lenevesh rotzeach lamali. Now the Gemara starts bringing other psukim which talk about this idea about when you're chayav type of misa, either b'shogig or amazed, and mamon, which one do you pay? We have a lot of psukim which talk about this. The Gemara is a little bit of a side discussion to explain these psukim. The Gemara is explaining these psukim. This pasuk is talking about like Golas, when below siku kofer nefesh rotzeach, right? Someone who kills b'shogig, right? You don't take kofer, you don't pater him from Golas, but taking mamon lamali. The Amar Rachmana l'tishkol amonim minei v'tifter migtala. The Gemara assumes at this point they were talking about he's killing on purpose, right? Don't, if he's chayav misa for killing somebody, don't take mamon, right, and pater him. You have to kill him and not pater him. A similar pasuk, you don't take money when it comes to going to Gullus. Gullus is when you kill B'shogig, you have to go to Gullus lamali. Amar Rachman. Don't exempt him from Gullus by taking mamon. No, he has to go to Gullus, so you don't take the mamon. Trey cry lamali. Why pasuk? Chad b'shogig v'chad b'mezid. One is talking about shogig, and one is talking about he kills on purpose. It's richi. You need both psukim. He has to be mezid mishum the chamer yisure. Mezid, when he kills intentionally, is very chamer, right? So therefore, mamon shouldn't pater his misa. But shogig the lo chamer yisure, he kills unintentionally. It wasn't so bad. Aimollah, maybe you could take money and exempt him from going to Galus. Yes, mean shogig. You should shogig mishum the leke ibn neshama, right? He goes to shogig. He's not dying. I'm amazed that ibn neshama. Maybe we should allow him to get out of dying by taking money. Sricha. Well, eres lo yichupar ladam asher shufach ba. Kim b'dam shofcha. It's talking about someone who kills, right? His blood has to be redeemed, right? His blood has to be sought after by the golei adam. They're allowed to kill him. Lamali. Why do you need that? I mean, this Joshua is coming to teach me that if a different halacha, that's a halacha that it talks about in Sefer Dvarim, Parsha Shoftim at the end, about Egla Arufa. If someone kills between two cities, you don't know which city is responsible, and you can't figure out who the murderer is, so then you do Egla Arufa, the city which is closest to the murderer. They bring an Egla to a valley, a young calf, and they decapitate it. So let's say you do this procedure. That's a kapara for the city that let this who is responsible for housing this murderer. Let's say you decapitated the calf, then you found out who the murderer was. So how do you know that you have to kill him also, even after the Egla Rufa? That's the pasuk telling me that it doesn't matter whether you did the Egla Rufa, you still have to take a vengeance for him. So if that's true, so what is the pasuk when it talks about this pasuk is in Dvarim in the parsha of Egla Rufa? What is that pasuk talking about? Tanya, Minayin lemumsim b'sayif has nothing to do with Egla Rufa. How do you know people who get killed with sayif? Right? If you murder someone, the punishment in Mises Basin is you get beheaded. Shuman atzavar. How do you know that's where you kill him? Right? You don't just slash him in the stomach. You cut off his head. How do you do it? It says by Egla Rufa, right? This is the way you get rid of the dam. Hokshu kol shofchei damim. It says a general term, right? Anyone who kills somebody, egla rufa malahala minat savar, just like egla rufa, they decapitate the calf from the neck. Av shofchei dam minat savar. When you kill him with sayif, you kill him from the neck. Yimalahalim bakofitz mamul orif. Just like by negla rufa, that's where you use an axe and you do it from the back of the neck. That's where you strike the calf and decapitate it. Also, when you kill someone with sayif, a person with sayif, you should do it with an axe and you should do it from the back, from the back of the head. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Ravua, Amar Krav, the Torah says, for people, we treat people different than animals. So for all those people who are big animal rights activists, there's more rachmanos by people than by animals. Not that we shouldn't even have rachmanos on animals. There is a concept of sar b'alei chayim. However, there's more sar b'alei chayim by people. You have to have love for your friend. It's less painful what you do when you kill someone with sayif. You take a sword and you cut him from the front of the neck, which is quicker to kill the person than kill the calf, which you do for the axe from the back of the neck. What is this pasuk talking about? How do you know someone who's being executed? Right? They already give a psak din. He's chayav misa. He's going to be executed. Right? Whichever one of the misa is based in. Amar echad erko alai. While he's going out to be killed, someone says the value of this guy I'm pledging as a donation to the Beis Hamikdash. Right? There's a part of erchin in the Torah. Right? Every person, depending on his age, has a value. Minayin shelo amar klum. He's considered a dead man already, even though he wasn't killed yet. He's considered a dead man. He has no value. Right? Any chayrim, any donations to the Beis Hamikdash, you can't redeem. And so that's only talking about an adam, right? He's not an adam. He's a dead man. You might also think while they're in Beis Din and they didn't paskin, yeah, he's chayav misa, and he says erech alai that point. You might also think he has no erech then. Mina adam below call adam. Only certain people, not everybody. Rabbi Chananya ben Akavi, Kesubos, Chananya ben Akavi argues on the Rabbanon, and they say that even after the psak din, he's going out laharig, right? He has an erech, right? Because the Torah fixed an amount for a person. He's not considered a dead man yet. What do you do with this pasuk? Right? We find in certain places, for example, your shore, right? You have an ox which gores 3 times, it's a muad, and then it goes and kills somebody. So technically it's called kofer. The Gemara Makos talks about you have to pay a kofer. Kofer is basically your chayav misa b'dei shamayim. The kofer, you pay the money to pater yourself from the misa b'dei shamayim, right? The shore is niskal, the shore has to be killed, but you're not killed. The owner of the shore is not killed. So you're chayav misa b'dei shamayim. However, you give kofer. To machlokas and Gemara Makos, what's the value in Baba Kama? What's the value of the kofer? But how do you evaluate the valuation of the kofer? How do you know you give the money? Shinemar in kofer yushas olav, right? Talk about a kofer. Echalach b'dei adam kain. You might think also that if you kill someone also, right, if you're chayav misa b'dei adam, or chayav misa is based in, also you give money and exemption. Right? If the person is considered chayrim, he's considered to be chayrim is forbidden property, right? You can't redeem him, and he's forbidden property because he's condemned to death. How do you know? Sometimes you chayav misas based in, and if you did a b'shogeg, there's no kapara like a karban chatas. Misas kalos, like let's say machal shabbos, and isn't shgasam the kapara. If you did b'shogeg, you bring a chatas minai. How do you know that? Also, you can't redeem with money. Tamaloma kol chayrim. It says kol to read Gemara. Even in that case, you can't redeem it. The Gemara says v'lo meila lo tikhu kol for shamas mina. Lo tishkom amona mei v'tiftrei. We had a pasuk earlier in the daf, right on the top of the daf, which says we had one pasuk by Bezid and one pasuk by Shogeg that person chayav misa, even a mezid, you don't take money to pater him from the misa be a bastin. Kol chayrim lamali. So why do you need kol chayrim? Amar Rabbi Rachama itzarich. You need a sakad dechamina, the top of lamed cherem and aleph. Hani mili heichi the hargu derech aliyah. That's talking about when you killed him derech aliyah. Right, the Gemara in Makos distinguishes between whether you kill someone on your way up or on your way down. It's considered, if you could kill someone on your way up, that's considered karov lemezid. If you consider it on your way down, you're coming down a ladder and you fell, that's b'shogeg, that's a real shogeg, which is l'chayiv golos. If you're on your way up and you fall, so that's more of a pshia, and therefore you're not chayiv golos over there. Right, there's no go to golos to get kapara. If you kill someone while you're lowering yourself, you're going down a ladder, then this shgasa kapara, you can go to golos. You might think you take money from a pater from golos. Kamash Malan. All right, we're going to stop here because this is already the middle of Daf Lamed Ched. Stay tuned for Ian Ben Sion coming up. We'll discuss more the difference between Misa and Mamon and Malchus and Mamon. See you there.